Today we are going to be learning about line plots. I thought, like last time, I would give you an example of a line plot just so you know what you're going to be looking at. It's usually a number line and then dots or X's above each number. A line plot helps display data. It can also be called a dot plot. Depending on what is shown, it's either an X or a dot. A line plot uses a number line to show the number of times each value in a data set occurs. So if there are 3 threes, you have 3 dots. Line plots show the spread and the distribution of a data set. By using the number line, you can see if more data is towards the beginning, the end, or equally spread out through the data set. Remember, when making the number line, you have to use a consistent interval. If you're counting by ones in the beginning, you can't magically start counting by twos. The next thing we're going to be looking at is a cluster, peak, and a gap, and I'm going to show you an example. So the first thing is a cluster. A cluster is the largest grouping of data pieces, and the cluster is between 2 and 4. The next is your peak. The peak is the largest number of, it's the number with the largest number of data repeats, and it's on 2. And then your gap is the largest amount of space that does not have any data occurrences, and that's between 5 and 6. So your steps to make a line plot is draw your number line, label the number line, then you'll place a dot or an X to represent each value in the corresponding number. So I'm going to do an example with you. These are your numbers of siblings. Obviously, you have to have your data set, and these are your information, so this is your answers. You create your number line. Once again, make sure it's evenly spaced. We're counting by ones. So first things first, let's look at the data set. How many times do we see 0 siblings? So you put your 2. 1, you put your 2. How many people have 2 siblings? You put your 3, and then so on and so forth. So you get to 4, there's only one 4. Are there any 5s? No, so you're going to skip 5 and go straight to 6. Now there's nothing above 6, so you just leave 7 and 8 blank. If you were to look at this question, where is your cluster? What's the biggest cluster that you have? And what is your gap? What's the largest amount of space empty? Okay, the next thing we're going to be doing is looking at reading a line plot. So it's important to be able to look and see that you have the same amount of giving information as well as getting information. So if you were to look at this, how many students were surveyed total? And you can figure this out by counting the number of X's. The next question is, what is the range of the data set? Remember, the range is the smallest to the largest. And finally, how many students spend 20 or more minutes walking to school? Okay, and you guys are done.